Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SmoothBrainEDH, where we make the smoothest plays with the biggest brains. We've decided to start our new year out with a bang with some explosive cEDH gameplay. You're probably familiar with a lot of the decks on screen already, so let's hop right into it and see who's playing what. First up, we have Cody, borrowing Chandler's Magda Brazen Outlaw deck. It plans on using Magda's tutor ability to tutor out some powerful combos. Cody keeps an opening hand of Holdout Settlement, Ancient Tomb, Treasure Vault, Jeweled Lotus, Paradise Mantle, Dwarven Scorcher, and Pardic Miner. Next we have Jason on the partner pairing of Tymna and Thrasios. This 4-color deck focuses on controlling the board until it can assemble a Thrasios Oracle combo. Yeah, get your booze out now. And for those of you who don't know, Jason only ever plays webcam games with us, but he's actually back in town for the holidays, so we were super happy to have him at a table again. Jason keeps an opening hand of a Bayou, Blooded Strand, Boseiju Who Endures, Birds of Paradise, Spellseeker, and he bottoms a Noxious Revival and a Ranger Captain of Eos. Next in the turn order is Matt on WInota, Joiner of Forces. This Boros deck is a creatures-based stacks deck. It focuses on getting out a Kiki-Jiki line to win the game, but as you could probably guess, it can also just beat the crap out of all of its opponents. Matt keeps an opening hand of a Snow Plains, a Command Tower, Mox Diamond, Deflecting Swat, Ragavand, Imperial Recruiter, and Skyclave Apparition. Now, last but not least, we have the newest face on SmoothBrainEDH, our good friend Carter, playing the Gitrog monster. This deck's a pretty linear lands-based combo deck. It's all about getting out the Gitrog monster, a discard outlet, and Dakmor Salvage. He'll keep an opening hand of Cavern of Souls, Dakmor Salvage, Strip Mine, Lotus Petal, Mox Opal, Exploration, and he'll bottom a Castle Garenbrig. We're about to hop right into the gameplay, but before we do, go down and leave a comment for us, letting us know who you think is going to win this game. And while you're down there, don't forget to check out all our links in the description. We've got all the deck lists for you guys to check out, another channel for you guys to listen to our podcast, a Patreon link if you want some exclusive benefits and a chance to help us out, and an affiliate link with Dragon Shield, so if you're looking to pick up any MTG products, be sure to check that out. That's all for now, folks, so let's hop right into the gameplay. Looks like Matt wins the die roll, and he'll start off by casting a free Mox Diamond, pitching his Snow Plains, and then he'll play his Command Tower and dash out a Ragavan and hit Carter for 2. Matt makes a treasure, and Carter exiles a Fyndhorn Elves, which Matt will use his treasure to cast. The turn is then passed, and Carter will start off with a Cavern of Souls, naming Horror. He'll then cast his Petal and Mox Opal, and then he'll crack his Petal for a green to cast his Exploration, and then he'll play his Strip Mine and pass. Cody starts off by free casting Jeweled Lotus, and then Paradise Mantle, and then he'll crack his Jeweled Lotus to cast Magda, and then he'll play Holdout Settlement. He'll then tap it for a red by tapping Magda, which also makes a treasure, and he'll use that 1 red to cast his Dwarven Scorcher. The turn is then passed to Jason, who plays Bayou into Birds of Paradise, and then he'll pass back to Matt. But on his end step, Carter decides to strip mine Matt's Command Tower. Now on Matt's turn, he'll start by dashing out Ragavand again. And since Carter strip mined him, he'll swing 2 at him again. Upon connecting, Carter exiles the Yavimaya, and then Matt will make a treasure. And sadly for Matt, he can't play that Yavimaya, so he'll move to his end step and Ragavan bounces. On Carter's turn, he'll play a Snow Swamp as land for turn, and then he'll just pass the turn to Cody, who starts off with Ancient Tomb. He'll then tap the tomb, taking 2 damage to float 2 colorless mana. He'll then use 1 to equip his mantle to his Scorcher, and then he'll tap it for a red, making a treasure, and then he'll cast Thrill of Possibility, discarding a mountain. This lets him draw 2 cards, and then he'll move to combat. He'll swing to a Jason, which makes him a treasure, and then Jason takes the damage. Post-combat, Cody will sacrifice 2 treasures to cast Pardic Miner, and then he'll pass the turn to Jason, who starts off by playing a Flooded Strand, and he'll immediately sacrifice it to go find a Tundra. He'll then tap for 3 mana, cast Tymna, and then pass the turn to Matt, who will immediately tap for 2 and dash out Ragavan at Carter again, who has to take it. Matt makes another treasure, and Carter exiles a Toxic Deluge. All Matt needs is to play a land on his second main to be able to cast it. Cody could stop him with his Pardic Miner, but he doesn't think he has it, so priority passes, and Matt plays Bloodstained Mire. He'll fetch with it for a plateau, and then pay 3 mana to cast the Toxic Deluge, X is equal to 2. Priority goes around the table, and Cody will use his Holdout Settlement to tap his Pardic Miner and make a treasure. Deluge will then resolve. This wipes the board, and then Matt will pass the turn to Carter, who starts his turn off with a Wooded Foothills, and he'll crack it for a Bayou. After this, he'll tap for 3, and he'll cast Praetor's Grasp, targeting Jason. He searches up Jason's deck for a card, exiles it, and can cast it later. He passes the turn to Cody after this, who starts off with a Mountain. He'll then tap for 3, taking 2 to Ancient Tomb, and he'll cast a Professional Facebreaker. He'll then equip it with his Paradise Mantle, and then pass the turn to Jason. Jason will play a Mana Confluence, and then he'll tap for 2 to cast Thrasios. He'll then pass the turn to Matt, who starts off with an Aganjo as land for turn. He'll then tap for 3 to cast Imperial Recruiter, and with its ETB ability, he finds Dockside Extortionist to his hand. He'll then pass the turn to Carter, who just passes the turn to Cody. And he'll start off by playing and fetching with a Scalding Tarn, finding a mountain to the battlefield. He'll then tap for 4 and cast Magda again, taking 2 to his tomb, and then he'll move to combat and swing his Facebreaker at Jason. It connects, and he gets to make a treasure. He'll then sacrifice the treasure to exile Arcane Signet from the top of his library. He'll then use his Holdout Settlement to tap Magda to make a mana, which will make him another treasure, and then he'll sacrifice the treasure to cast said Arcane Signet. The turn is then passed to Jason, who plays a Bloodstained Mire, and then he'll just pass to Matt, who plays another Plains, and then he'll cast his Dockside Extortionist. And when it resolves, he gets 6 treasures from this, and he'll immediately use 4 of them to cast WInota.
Nothing can get a trigger though, right?
Nope.
Cool.
The only thing that can attack is Imperial Recruiter.
Unless he Ginger Brutes.
Yeah, you can do that.
Hey, guess what?
Matt casts Ginger Brute, and then he'll move to combat so he can try to get 1 WInota trigger. Carter stops him at the beginning of combat though, and he'll cast a Vampiric Tutor. It'll resolve, and then Matt will swing Ginger Brute at Carter, and this gets 1 WInota trigger. The WInota trigger reveals Thalia's Lancers, which will go at Jason. And with the Thalia's Lancers, he'll find Thalia, Guardian of Thraben. Damage then goes through, and then after this, he casts Eidolon of Rhetoric. He'll then pass the turn, but Jason will stop him on instep to fetch for an Underground Sea. The turn is then passed to Carter, who will just pass back to Cody again, who starts off with an Inventor's Fair. He'll then move to combat, and he'll swing Professional Facebreaker at Jason, and then Magda at Carter. He'll get a treasure from tapping Magda, and then they'll both take their damage, and Cody gets to make 2 more. He'll then sacrifice all 5 of his treasures to Magda to search his library for a Terror of the Peaks, and he'll put it to the battlefield. After this, he taps for 6 mana, taking 2 to Ancient Tomb, and he'll cast Red Dragon. There are 2 ETB effects. One causes all of his opponents to take 4 damage, and the other is from Terror of the Peaks, which will point 4 damage at WInota. As you saw from opening hands though, Matt has the Deflecting Swat, which he will cast for free, and he'll point the ability's damage over to Thrasios. When this happens, Jason will respond by tapping for 4, losing 1 to Mana Confluence, and he'll activate Thrasios' ability. The scry is to the bottom, and then the revealed card is Mox Diamond. Terror's damage will then go through, and then the turn is passed to Jason, who will start off with Rejuvenating Springs, and then he'll tap for 5, losing 1 to Mana Confluence, and he'll recast Tymna. The turn is then passed to Matt, who immediately moves to combat and will start off by swinging WInota at Jason, and then he'll swing Dockside, Ginger Brute, and his Eidolon at Carter. In response to the triggers, Carter will cast a Tainted Pact. Priority goes around the table, and no one has a response, so it resolves, so he exiles his entire deck, except for the last 3 cards in his library, and the card that goes to his hand is a Culling Ritual. After this, Matt resolves his triggers, and the first one is Mother of Runes, which goes at Carter. Second trigger is his own Facebreaker, which also goes at Carter, and then the third trigger is Recruiter of the Guard, which also goes at Carter. And there's an ETB search with Recruiter of the Guard. Matt frantically searches his library for some way to potentially stop Carter from winning with Jason's Thrasios Oracle that he probably tutored with the Praetor's Grasp. The only thing that could do it would be Draenith Magistrate, which Recruiter cannot search for, so he just finds a Vryn Wingmare to his hand. Damage will then go through. Matt will then pass the turn to Carter, who will immediately tap for 2 and cast Thassa's Oracle, which he did steal from Jason. He expects the Force of Will from Jason, but priority passes around the table, and it resolves. The ETB trigger will also resolve, so he looks at the only 2 cards left in his library, rearranges them, and then he wins the game. Well everyone, there you have it. That is not at all how I expected this game to go. Let us know what you guys thought down in the comments below. I know some of you are going to complain about Thassa's Oracle winning, but come on, let's be real. The Gitrog monster just won with Thassa's Oracle. I think we can all appreciate that at least a little bit. I personally really enjoyed this game because everybody got to do a little bit of what they like. And I really enjoyed seeing Carter just play the patient game, waiting and waiting to get that win. I'm about to sign off, but before I do, I've got to remind you about all our links in the description. Be sure to check out the Decklists and our second channel where we have our podcast. We've got a public Discord too where you can join and play pickup games with us and the community. And if you support us on Patreon, we've even got a special chat just for our patrons where they get sneak peeks at our videos. And don't forget to check out our Dragon Shield affiliate link. And I've got one last question for you guys before we end the video. We're considering doing some shorts for our channel, highlighting some of the funny moments during our games that you don't see in these videos. Would you guys be interested in that? Let us know. But that's it for today, guys. I'll see you smooth brains next time. Have a smooth day.